Hey guys, okay, so this is a bit of a serious video. I wasn't actually going to film it, but I decided to anyways. This is about boyfriends and relationships, and it's not a happy story, unfortunately, because I think it's best to know the sadder stories and the ways things can go wrong, because you want to be prepared for what might go wrong when you choose to do something. You know, like getting a piercing or a tattoo, you always want to know what the care is and what the possibilities are. So this is a story, a real story, about a boyfriend that I've had quite recently. So my story is about a specific boyfriend that I had for quite a while. We got together, or we started dating, if you will. I don't know. We didn't really date. We just kind of became boyfriend and girlfriend pretty quickly back in high school. So we were together very early in grade 11. It was a relationship that started when both of us were in kind of a bad place. So, you know, we didn't really have the personal skills to look after ourselves. I mean, you know, we kind of helped each other and we served a great purpose in that sense. Like, in the sense that we, you know, we kind of were there for each other because we're both going through our own things. And I'll get to that in a bit. I think it was just before or after our second anniversary. I was kind of not feeling it anymore. So I left him briefly and did end up going back to him. And when I went back to him and we got back together, my household situation was in a bit of a rough patch. So, and my decision to get back with him did not help things at all. So I got back with him and I had to leave my house, my mum's home, basically, where I was living. And I went and lived with his family for a bit, and then they couldn't really support the two of us anymore, and it was getting crowded and they had to move back to a smaller house, so we really had to leave. So we started living in a one-bedroom apartment in a not so nice neighborhood, and we did that for about a year. So all in all, we were together for 3 years. So it wasn't like a nothing relationship. It was a pretty big deal. But we did get together when we were very young. So, you know, I mean, we chose the 3 worst years to be together because they were the 3 years that we went through the biggest amounts of change. Basically, I want this video to go to any female and any person in the duty of care of a female, because this is kind of what goes wrong some of the time. Anyways, when we got together, initially, we basically, neither of us had very many friends. Like, I was new to Brisbane, so I didn't really have any friends, and I didn't really have the confidence to go out. And him the same. The friends that he did have, he didn't have the confidence to go out with and hang out with. So we kind of served that purpose for each other. We were each other's person to hang out with. It meant that we had a friend and we had someone to talk to, and we had someone to be there for the other person, like for us, if that makes sense. Which was great. You know, it helped us learn some, you know, relationship skills. But we never really helped integrate each other into friend groups. And this is a bit of an issue. When we were living together in the apartment, I was studying and he was working. And, you know, the decision to move in together was a tough one because neither of us were really earning the income that we should have. Like, I had no income at all, and he had a stable enough income. You know, the decision came with the compromise that we had to get someone to pay the bond for us. So seeing as his family was, you know, about to hit some hardships, even though for the 2 years beforehand they had been the rich ones, and he didn't have any savings and I didn't have any savings. Hope you guys are taking notes here. We had to take it from one of my parents. So because my mum wasn't working at that stage, I don't really know it. Yeah, no, she wasn't really on the scene then. We had to get it from my dad, who did have a very stable, very comfortable income at that time. So he happily paid the bond. He didn't pay it to me. He didn't pay it to my boyfriend. He paid it directly to the real estate agent and kept the receipt and attached the receipt to the email to the real estate agent to let them know it's been paid. So that was the first decision, and because I was working, I would just give him my, here in Australia we have government youth allowance when you're studying, so the government gives you a certain amount of money just to keep you alive because you're studying and you can't work. So I gave him that, and then with whatever money I got from my side job that I could only really do like 1 or 2 days a week, that went to groceries, and anything left over went to bills. So I was really broke. And, you know, we weren't, it took us a while to adjust. Yeah, he was paying the rent, and this was like just a it was a verbal but a non-written agreement. And this is obviously the first time that either of us have rented, so we had really no idea what the forms were all about. And I don't think our real estate agent really explained it to us either, because we were kind of getting used to supporting ourselves and living together and, you know, having no money. The second electricity bill that we got, neither of us could pay it. Like, neither of us could trip over it. Even together, there was no way we could pull our funds enough. So, again, we had to get one of my parents to pay for it because his parents were still struggling. And, you know, that's all fair and good, but I had been told for 2 years that they were rich and, you know, owned a massive house and all kinds of things. So my mum paid it, and she, at this stage, didn't really have an income either. But she paid it because it came up in conversation and she just did. So she paid for that, and then the bed that we had gotten secondhand from his family broke, obviously. I mean, secondhand beds do. And my boyfriend wanted this massive bed. Like, I was talking to my mum about how our bed was falling apart, and she said, I will send you some money for you to get a bed. Not, you know, my mum wanted me to have a bed. So for some reason, my boyfriend at the time decided to pick out the bed and buy the bed with my mum's money. She gave me $1,000 for a bed, which, if we'd gotten the bed that I would have wanted, there would have been money left over, you know, to go towards a mattress, because our mattress was shit as well. But no, he had to buy the most expensive. It had to be... Anyways, because obviously he's used to living the life of luxury that his parents were able to give him, but stopped for whatever reason. So, so far we've had his parents giving us leftovers or secondhand things that they wouldn't need and didn't want anymore. And we've had my dad pay for the bond, my mum pay for an electricity bill, my mum pay for a bed. And somewhere along the way, my boyfriend has decided that he has friends and he likes to drink. So he would go out on a Friday night or whenever he had days off, really, and he would go and drink in excess. And he wouldn't tell me where he was going. He wouldn't tell me how long he'd be. he just kind of kept me at home. So I would be at home and I would wait for him and I would text him and I would call him and I would try and stay up, and then I'd go to bed and I wouldn't be able to sleep because I'd still be waiting for him. And then when I finally crashed, he'd come in and wake me up. And at one stage, he was so drunk, he was eating cheese and laughing hysterically while we were in the bed. And he spat cheese in my hair and laughed about it. And I think I had college the next day, and it was really bad. But because of his realization that he liked to go out and he liked to drink and he liked to have friends, I decided, well, you know what? I'm going to make friends and I'm going to go out and I'm going to stop saying no to people when they want to go out with me. So, the first night that I go out, and I mean, this is just going out at night for drinks, you know, this is the first time I'd done this, I think ever. He freaks out because I had said I might be home around midnight. Maybe. I don't know. Like, I didn't really know what was going to happen, and he hated the idea. He didn't want me to go out. He wanted to go out, and that was kind of his plan. But because I was going out, he didn't. I think, I don't know. So I went out and had a lovely time, and I was a little bit later than I'd anticipated. And I didn't want to come home. I was like, fuck that. So he's calling me, and he's texting me, and he's texting me not nice stuff. And it's like he's blubbering on the phone, threatening to try and kill himself, and saying that he's kind of attempted suicide and that the ambulance is on the way, and that he's cut himself and that he's bleeding all over the place and that I have to come home. So I do. I go home. I go racing home. I catch a taxi. I get home. And guess what I came home to? There was no ambulance, and there was no blood. There were no pills all over the place. He hadn't actually tried to kill himself. He hadn't even cut himself at all. Like, I think after that, I wasn't allowed to go anywhere without, well, actually, after that I wasn't really allowed to go anywhere. It had been pretty much since we moved in together. Every time I went to go do coffee with someone, I'd have to take a photo of me with the person that I wanted to be, or that I had said I was doing coffee with, and at the place that we had said we'd be. So just imagine, every time you want to go and see a friend, having to prove that you were doing what you said you'd be doing with the person you'd be doing it with. Like, just imagine saying to your best friend, oh, hey, my psychopathic boyfriend at home kind of wants a photo of us together at the place that we're supposed to be at, possibly even the time somewhere in the photos that he knows it was taken today, because he thinks that I should really be at home. You know, he doesn't want me going out. Sorry, hope it's not an inconvenience of all. Like, just imagine trying to keep friends like that. Whatever friends he had to begin with. And his main problems were that he didn't know where I was when I went out this one night, and he didn't know who I was with, and it's kind of, it was a big double standard because he never knew where he was when he went out, and whenever I'd text him or call him or ask him, where are you, when are you getting home, he'd be like, I don't know, soonish. And I'd just keep believing it. like, yeah. So obviously I was a fool. And this isn't the only thing that I was a fool about or for. There were several times where he had basically said he had cut or self-harmed in some way or another, and he hadn't. He always used the real low blows so that he could be certain that I'd be coming back, like, oh yeah, this'll get her. And obviously we can kind of deduct now that he was a horrendous liar. And yeah, basically, as we were falling apart, and this wasn't the only thing that really fell apart with us, he was telling me stories about his dad, and he had been since we had started dating back in high school. I think at one stage, actually at first, I was told that his dad was in jail and wouldn't be getting out. And I was like, cool, I respect that, you know. And he had a stepdad, a perfectly fine stepdad that was, you know, very kind of inviting, you know, like very trying to think of the word, like incorporating to my boyfriend at the time. Like, he had no problems with doing what he wanted to do. But my boyfriend, I don't know, for whatever reason, didn't want that. And my boyfriend's stepdad and his mum had had children. Now, that is a big age gap. That was like 17 or 18 years in between first baby and then baby number 2. And then between baby number 2 and baby number 3, there was like a year. So, you know. But so many stories about his dad and about his mum as well. About how his dad used to beat his mum and him. And about how he got thrown through a wall when he was young. And how he had to smoke. How he... I don't know, at one stage the story was that he never knew his dad. And that his father had been in jail since he was pretty much an infant. And then the story of, oh no, I had to see him every second weekend and he used to beat me. And then it was just everything. And when he cheated on me, it was the same. You know, oh, I was having an asthma attack and the ambulance gave me some medication that I'm not supposed to take because it makes me really, you know, stupid in the mind. And then me and this girl went to a movie because she wanted to cheer me up, and all we did was make out. Like, and I fell for that. Then the story changed. They didn't actually go to a movie, they were at South Bank, which is like a little man-made pool. And I was like, what about the movie? Thought you did it in the movies. Oh, we went to South Bank first. Oh, okay. And then the next time, turns out there were 2 occasions where he was cheating on me with this girl. Getting too into it. Anyway, so I still to this day don't know how he cheated on me, and I still to this day do not know what his upbringing was like or whether he knows his father. And then, if the psychological abuse and passive-aggressive tendencies weren't enough, he decided to intimidate me, physically. So, not actually hitting me most of the time, but getting very close to. And then when he found out that I was leaving him, he wasn't quite so careful. And at one stage, he had me in a stranglehold and was shaking me. To the point of tearing my shirt off. And I sat there half naked, just holding myself and trying to get away from him. And then he says to me, "Oh baby, please don't go. You're so beautiful. Can we have sex?" And then there was a fight with the keys, where he literally strangled me and had his fist up and was about to punch me in the head, and yeah, there were a few times where he got very aggressive. And then I finally woke up and realized I have got to get away from this disgusting display of a human being. Like, this is sick. When I told him, you know, not only did he get more, I don't know, depressed, if you will, and more angry and more crazy, really, as well as more angry towards me, he decided it'd be a good idea to put conditions on me leaving. So he wouldn't let me leave until I had paid him all the rent. He wouldn't let me leave until I'd signed a contract that he typed up saying that I owed him $18,000. And I just signed it. Then that got changed. If I let him have my dad's bond, I didn't owe him the $18,000 anymore. And mind you, he did tear up the walls and didn't clean at all, so not much of that bond will be going back to him. Good job. And my mum will never get back. Oh yeah, I never got the bed. I'm living on a second-hand mattress on the floor because my ex-abusive boyfriend has my bed. And my ex-abusive boyfriend has the bond that my dad paid for. And my ex-abusive boyfriend never paid my mum back for the electricity bill. And I'm still petrified every time I see his name on my phone. Like if he texts me or calls me. It actually brings on a panic attack. I mean, mainly because what he would text me would be, "So when's my money going through?" or "Am I getting any money?" or stuff like that. Anyway, basically, I just wanted to make this video to let all women know, and all people taking care of women, to be careful when they get into relationships. And if he doesn't let you do what you want to, then don't have him around. He is not worth it. And I'm sorry that this video was so long, but I think it's very important that, yeah, I get at least the main points out there, because there are a lot more. Like, yeah, just the bullshit he told me, and the things he wouldn't let me do, and how everything I did was wrong. And not only did he have to beat my dad's daughter, but then turn around and take his money too. I think that's just fucked up. Not gonna lie, that is fucked up. And yeah, not only to beat my mum's daughter, but to take her daughter's bed too. And in all honesty, I still ended up better. And even though I don't have a bed, you know, and even though I probably could have used the bond money, and even though a good year or more of my life is gone to him, his friends are now my friends, and his family is now my family. And although I've told his friends, my friends, the story, his family don't know the story. They can hint to the story, but they don't know it. They know in their heart of hearts that he was in the wrong. And maybe one day he will too. Because yeah, I'm the bitch for leaving him, and I'm the bitch for getting friends, and I'm the bitch for having... Anyway, I just wanted you guys to know that it's not uncommon for someone to be in an abusive relationship, and if you have a friend who isn't allowed to see you as much because of their boyfriend or girlfriend, or if you aren't allowed to see your friends as much because of your boyfriend or girlfriend or what they say, not so much, God, I'm so in love I can't spend any time away from them, that's fine, you know, that happens, that's the honeymoon phase. But if your boyfriend, girlfriend is limiting your ability to see people, I hate to break it to you, but you should have a life of your own. Even if you want someone to be in that life with you, it has to be there first. If you aren't allowed to go and do things and live your own life, that makes you dependent on them. And a codependent relationship, or a dependent relationship, is an unhealthy relationship, and it only gets worse from there. Because if you have a bad habit that keeps you near them and keeps them in control and lets them keep you, they will help you keep that bad habit. Trust me. I had to cut a lot out of my life just to be with this guy, and he was not worth it. just don't do it. Find yourself. Live your life first. And if your life could use someone in there, then let them in. But don't change your life to have someone else be in it. Because it's yours. It's your life. You should still do you things. If someone else wants to join, fucking good for them. So, I think I've rambled plenty now. Yeah, I almost wasn't going to tell this story, but I thought I kind of had to, because you deserve to know, and you deserve to know what to look for, and you certainly deserve to know that it happens more than a lot of people think, and it's bad. Obviously, we know that, but just stay strong, and fuck it, you don't need a partner. I'm having more fun without anyone than I ever have with someone. Because I know that everything that I have now is mine. And like my job, my friends, my personality, my happiness, I can't attribute that to any other person. I can't say, oh, thank you, blah, for getting me my job, or thank you, blah, for making me not cut myself anymore, or thank you, blah, for letting me be happy or making me happy. No, I make me happy. I make me happy, and you're just there watching. And that's the attitude you should have with yourself, with your friends, with everyone. You make you happy first. Then let someone be there to watch it. So that's my story about boyfriends and partners and love. Don't really believe in love, at least not anymore. And I don't really believe in marriage anymore either. I can still see myself getting married though. I'll back down on that. I'll grow up. Anyways, I love you guys, and I'm not going to stop you from doing anything. Just so long as you keep watching my videos. I'm only joking. But yeah. I hope you guys had a lovely Easter. Sorry this video would have taken so long to upload because I don't have internet at the moment. But, yeah, so. And, you will see me in the next video. Love you.